So what do you do when your lead actor and a star of the show, whose character's name is in the title, decides they don't want to do it anymore? Well, you elevate one of the popular characters into the lead. And such was the case with Blake 7. So they'd had their 2 seasons, and it all seemed to just end on this massive cliffhanger with an alien invasion from Andromeda. And so the Liberator found itself on the same side as the Federation, oddly enough, and all bets were off. So that's where you start in the next season. So they decided, we're going to keep going. And this has happened in other shows and whatnot, and sometimes there's some amount of success. Most often it doesn't work. But for all intents and purposes, it worked for Blake 7. I mean, Avon had become a popular character. It was one of the more interesting ones, probably even more interesting than Blake. Although Blake, reviewing this, I could see where there was, some amount of development there. But Avon oftentimes would steal the show just the way he is, And so it stood to reason that if there's no Blake, then Avon takes over. So what to do? Well, in the fog of war, in the madness of the battle, you just have your cast members disappear. So it's a bit clumsy the way it is. They repurpose old footage and stuff like that, and some of the effects don't look so great. The escape hatch bit is still not so great, but it's a little bit better than the battle scenes. And then there's this almost psychedelic little trip there of Avon's escape capsule going through. That was kind of neat, and all that. So it'd been a while since I'd seen it. I kept thinking, wasn't the Liberator destroyed at this point? Then I forgot. No, not quite. But it looked like everything was over, everything smashing up. The battle with the aliens was taking its toll, and even though they ultimately win it, the Liberator's badly damaged. The crew's all split up. Blake and Jenna disappear, but apparently Jenna ends up on some hospital ship. We don't know. And Blake, well, he's mysteriously disappeared. But his cause and his team lives on, so theoretically the title still holds that he was the inspiration for this movement. And with the development to Avon's character over the past 2 seasons, it stood to reason that he's grown a conscience. He's not the cold, selfish bastard. It's still there, but not quite. And you saw tender moments of his past and all this sort of stuff. And so it flows rather well. I mean, he says, we gotta get out of here, so let's get Aurak. The Aurak's the most powerful computer around, so if you can't have Liberator, at least have that, and that sort of thing. But still, he was doing heroic things for the others. So Villa and Callie seemingly disappear at this point, but it's obvious they escaped as although they were having trouble escaping at the last minute, so I'll leave it at that. But the bulk of the episode is all Avon surviving, and his good pal Servalon who got on the bad end of the alien invaders, and her ship crashed, and so there she is on this planet, which in and of itself wouldn't be too bad, except there's a bunch of, alien Viking guys running around. And they don't like aliens, so they chase them down. Turns out there's a fugitive who's been hiding out on the planet in an underground little base he made out of a space station that they managed to land or what have you, and has made it his home. But again, he's a fugitive from the Federation, and but it turns out he's got great technical skills despite being blinded, and his daughters, primarily his biological daughter Dana, has learned to develop specialized weapons and whatnot. So they get these cool ray guns and whatnot in there, but she's taken to the bow and arrow. Whatever. And And so there it is. He's there, and he's adopted this girl who apparently was a member of the alien Viking tribe, and boy, she fits right in, you know. So, and but it doesn't end well for her either. So there's this interesting back and forth between Servalan and Avon, which stands to reason because there's a lot of similarities between them. It's just that Avon has grown a conscience and Servalan never will. She's just pure evil. They make out and everything, but Avon is smart enough to know, nah, because it's right. She'd kill him at the last straw or the first opportunity, and but she does spell out the situation that Star One got destroyed, so the Federation's in disarray, and all this stuff. As a result of the attempted invasion. And so it's going to take a while to build it all, but she's saying, hey, with Liberator and Aurak, well, you can build a new Star One and we can rule it together, baby. Yeah, but he didn't really fall for that. So she's decided, hey, I need to get a hold of Aurak and take Liberator, and I can just do it without Avon. Screw him. But in doing so, she ends up killing the fugitive. I'm already forgetting his name, but Dana's father. And so Dana, not too happy with Servalan, but on the way out, Servalan, well, she gets captured by the Vikings. And they're about to, their form of crucifixion, I guess. And then Avon says, well, we got to save her because she's got Aurak somewhere. If we don't have her, we don't have Aurak, and that's our only ticket out of here, So convinces Dana to go along with this. Of course, saves Servalan, but guess what? Another double cross. So she wants to go on the Liberator. You got to give her a bracelet. It's a back and forth, bait and switch, and all this sort of stuff of Avon and Servalan, lying to each other. Stuff. But Avon ultimately gets the upper hand. And the scene, they set it up, what they're doing. Dana's about ready to shoot Servalan, but a lot of time passes where she does it. But the idea is the teleport kicks in, and she and Avon teleport back to the Liberator, thus leaving Servalan to go back into the underground little base there and try to hold out against the Vikings until her, Federation crew shows up. So there you go with that. There was a Doctor Who alumnus in there if you didn't catch it. And so the cliffhanger is Dana and Avon return to he returns and she shows up on Liberator, and then dun dun dun, there's someone there in a Federation uniform. Gee, I wonder who he is. Well, they were out of a curly-headed guy, so they got a new one. That's what they did. So we'll address that in the next exciting episode of Blake 7. Now, I got to say, the ship design that they used for this mysterious somebody's ship that docked with Liberator, is pretty good. They just didn't have the photography capability, apparently, for the models to have the illusion of their size and whatnot. So, but take it for what it is. I suppose if someone really wanted to, they could go and redo it. But, what are you going to do? I mean, of course, the DVD little special things redid a lot. So, look how cool it looks and all that, but still. So, off to an interesting start. I mean, the show deserves a lot more respect than it gets, and continuing on and being painted into corners like this sort of thing and able to figure it out. It probably would have been better if they could have worked out a deal with Thomas for him to reprise the role here and there, just sort of guest spots and that kind of thing. But I guess he just didn't want to be committed to anything like that at the time. He does come back, spoiler, but not anytime soon. So it's an interesting take on it. It adds and that's the thing about Blake 7. You say, well, it's just a Star Wars, Star Trek type thing. No, it's its own thing. And the themes of which, of course, is all very dark and very serious, which I don't know, maybe one of the reasons why it's surely, because I do recall there was something about Tom Baker and Gareth Thomas who knew each other and talked about, wouldn't it be cool if they crossed over? And yes, it would have been. It would have been cool. But perhaps the sentiment was that Blake 7 was a much darker show than Doctor Who was, and for the most part, that's true. Although on occasion, Doctor Who could go down there too sometimes. But anyway, so off to a good start despite losing their main character. And fortunately, they had built up Avon, who I think was a very probably more popular, probably the most popular character within the series, because he's the asshole you love. And the weird thing between the philosophical bents and whatnot between him and Blake was that ultimately, more times than not, Avon was right, but Blake was more of the idealist and the dreamer type guy. So anyway, there we go. It's Avon's show from now on, and we'll get back to it. And I am getting back to it. I took a break for a while. I had a bunch of other shows to review and stuff, and somebody commented to me, "Hey, when are you getting to season 3?" Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm getting to it. So here we go. We're going to get some more Blake 7 reviews here on the Nailsin Ratings. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.